welcome back to another YouTube video here today. And today we are going over a brand new cash build. This is Nuke Everything Cash. Now this build is a lot of fun. You can use the linebacker for mobbing and it will absolutely pounce down the enemies. You also got to be really careful. Obviously, as you can see, I just downed myself. So gotta be careful with the gun. A little bit dangerous to use, but it is a great gun to use and it can actually shred bosses and stuff too. Your drill site's pretty fast, long as you are careful. So we're using the Gore Master. Gore Master is really good. We are using it with Jacobson Torg. We only have radiation currently at the moment. Then we're using the bod. Now this has all SMG. We're using this in all SMG mode. You're going to be looking for Torg Impact and Elemental Roll. And then we're using the linebacker, as you've seen in the what we were just using a second ago. That's what we have equipped. And then we're using the Unkempt Herald. Now you're gonna want a elemental roll on this and a Ripper and Torg on it, which is you're looking for on this. Now it is gonna be very hard to get one. I don't have any actual replacements for this because the shoot and scoot worked all right for bossing, but it wasn't like the craziest thing. So I recommend getting yourself a Herald with shock or any element on it with Ripper. And then for the rep kit, we're using the shiny Warpaint. You get 30% more fire rate and 15% fire rate boost on the rep kit is what you're looking for. So you get 45% more fire rate when you pop your rep kit. And then you're using the crit knife. You get the penetrator augment, so you get guaranteed crits. So you can proc your windfall like super easy. And then we're using the calculating whale. And you're going to be looking for 2 in Turn of Fate and 5 in Unshaken. And either gun fire rate would be really good, or you're going to want gun damage. Now, the cool thing about this class mod is whenever you gain a fortune stack, you gain 20% more fire rate and 25% more reload speed. And now the 25% reload speed and fire rate reload speed benefits your fire rate. And the nice thing about that is you're always proccing that skill. So we have the bod. We'll stop proccing once you get max fortune stacks, but it's basically always proccing bossing because you usually end up killing them before you even hit that amount of fortune stacks. So when you're bossing, you are always proccing that skill, which is really, really cool. And then we're using the Triple M Guardian Angel, really good here. And then we're using the Head Ringer, guns and Torgal licensed parts, gain 20% damage, 100% damage radius. This one has gun fire rate, pistol fire rate, and shotgun splash radius. You're going to want shotgun splash radius for the linebacker because that is really important. And then the gun fire rate, pistol fire rate is also really nice here, benefits. And then we're using 2 bullets spare. You get 5% more gun fire rate, 20% more gun magazine size, and gun fire rate is increased by 50% of gun magazine size. And then we're using 2 Daddios. You have a little bit more gun switch mode speed, which is not important. But the important part here is you get 20% more mag size, which gives you more fire rate because of the bullets to spare. Good. And now for the skill tree, we're using 5 in Charm Bracelet, so you get 50% more skill damage. And then we're using 5 in Luck Beat Robot, so it doesn't matter too much. Then we're using 5 in Your Fortuna, you get elemental effect chance and elemental effect damage. So when you're applying elemental effects, you gain fortune stacks, and this gives you elemental effect damage also. And then we're running 4 in Turn of Fate, so you get 50% more life steal and overshield while Windfall is active. Then we're using 1 in Can't Stop Winning. You get 2% more gun critical chance, plus you can proc Windfall really easily. Then we're using 1 in Insurance, so when you shoot your gun or when you get shot and lose your shield and it comes back, you're just getting fortune stacks from that. And then we're using 1 in Alchemy, so when you apply Elemental Effect, you gain a fortune stack, which is really good. And then we're using 5 in Unleashed to get 20% more fire rate. 5 in Stand and Bleed, so you get 10% more critical hit chance. 5 in Blur Fingers, so you get more reload speed and more fire rate per stack. And then we're using 5 in Lawless. Really good. So you get bonus kinetic damage. 2 in Chuck Full of Nitro. 3 in War Wagon. So you get ammo back when you're shooting your guns, doing kinetic damage, which probably have put nothing one and nothing lead beats. Plus, when you're doing elemental damage is converted, damage is increased. And then we're using 5 in Unshaken. So when you lose all your fortune stacks, say you have 10 fortune stacks, you gain 100% more damage dealt when you lose 10 fortune stacks, which is really good. And then we're using 5 in From Gloam to Gloam. You get 100% more bonus damage of overshield. And between these two, when they're both going off, it is a 200% damage increase. And then we're putting 1 in Dusty Trail. You get more gun damage stuff where you can also lose your fortune stacks pretty easily. So say your max fortune stacks, and this allows you to just lose your fortune stacks and replot Gloam really easily. And then it's just super easy to gain your fortune stacks back. So you get rid of all your fortune stacks, you get Gloam. You don't have more fortune stacks, right? Do it no more. And I can't see the fortune stacks. We definitely gained some. Sometimes it bugs out. Yeah, see, it was bugged out. It said we only have 1, but it was bugged out. We actually have 10. I think it's because we're gaining fortune stacks so fast. Sometimes it doesn't register that we actually gain max fortune stacks. And as you can see, the bot is hitting for millions of damage. And then this melee is going to hit for 49 million. Probably could have hit harder on the melee. Would have meleeed a bit earlier. And there we hit for 92 million on that melee. You don't need Groundbreaker, but I do like using it just because you have that option. Groundbreaker is optional with the setup. And then for specializations, we are using the best defense. You get 30% damage when it's full. Riddle you this, you get 1% gun damage per stack. And then you can use in the zone, so you get more gun damage and critical damage when you aim. And then you're using Groundbreaker. Now you could swap to now Caffeine if you'd like. We don't really need the now action skill cooldown. But if you'd like, you can. Or you can use Groundbreaker. Bullet Scared Me instead of Groundbreaker. Whatever your preference is. If you aim, you get more damage. As you see, we're almost hitting for 3 million now. And there we hit for 133.5 million on the melee. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Make sure you guys leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.